Hey folks, welcome back to the Lone Pine Tarot. For today's pick a card reading, we have a very exciting topic. It's a predictive reading. As you can tell by the title down below, of course, this is all about unveiling what's next in your life, basically what's fated to happen soon. And I asked your spirit team roughly 30 to 60 days or about 2 months from the time you view this reading. So we'll see what comes out during your actual reading. But of course, first we have to pick our piles. So today we're picking with the High Priestess from 3 different tarot decks. Over here on the left for my pile number 1s, we have the High Priestess from Tarot of the Divine. In the middle for pile number 2s, we have the High Priestess from Tarot of the Golden Wheel. And for pile number 3s over here on the right, we have the High Priestess from the Vivid Journey Tarot. So just to reiterate, I'm also going to show the backs this time. For pile number 1s, we have the High Priestess from the Tarot of the Divine. Here's the back. For pile number 2s, we have the High Priestess from Tarot of the Golden Wheel. And there's the back of that one. And for pile 3s, we have the High Priestess from the Vivid Journey Tarot. And there is the backing for that one. As always, if you need more time to decide which pile you would like read for you today, you can pause on this part of the video, meditate a bit more. I recommend to everyone just kind of go with your first gut instinct, or maybe just think of a number in your head and go with the first number that comes to mind. Either way, whatever your method for picking your pile, whenever you are ready, drop down to the description box below and or the top pinned comment beneath the reading. Click on the timestamp there, and I will see you in our discussion about unveiling what's next, what's fated to happen soon in your life. Bye. Hello there, my lovely pile number 1s. Welcome to your pick a card reading today on the topic of unveiling what's next in your life. As you recall, the deck you used to pick your pile today was the Tarot of the Divine. And of course, as always, when we pick with decks, I like to put the card right back into the deck itself and draw our tarot cards right away. So we'll do that right now. Put your oracle cards to the side for a moment. And let's get in touch with your spirit team collectively here, pile number 1s. Okay, so spirit team of my lovely pile number 1s. Could you give me around 5 different tarot cards that explains more about what this exciting new thing in their life is? What's the thing that's fated to happen within the next 30 or 60 days or so, please? Thank you for their highest best good. There we go. Let's see what pops out. Well, definitely that one. Number 1. Number 2. 3, 4. And I feel like that one right there, pile number 1's number 5. Okay, and let's unveil your cards for today. So first up, from the Oracle decks we pulled from the Ask Your Guides Oracle you received, we have number 15, Clearing. Maybe cleansing some things out, making something clear. We'll see what else pops out before I expand on that too much. But very interesting, clearing. From the Citadel Oracle, we have the Cartographer with the element of air. Crossroads exploration. We have a compass up here, a geographical map. Crossroads exploration. Maybe something about the direction you're taking in life. We'll see what else pops out. And then actually I'm going to set that up there on the fur a bit more. Then from the Dream Ritual Oracle, you received Trust. Beautiful. It looks like a candle burning. Trust. And then this one I'm actually not going to place yet because sometimes this one can be like a landscape. So I'm going to see what this is before I place everything. So from the Hidden Worlds Oracle, you received, okay, so it is a landscape. Number 10, Aurora Garden, Beginning, Initiate, Origin. You know, we haven't looked at your tarot cards yet, but intuitively, based on everything so far, pile number 1s, I feel like there's something about a new journey being undertaken in some area of your life that has to do with a first step of deciding to commit to the path where that journey will take you. Does that kind of make sense? Of course, we'll expand more with your tarot cards that we pulled, but that's kind of what I'm getting right off the bat. There's something about a journey beginning and trusting where you're going, trusting that you know where to navigate, especially with the cartographer. That's interesting. Sorry, I'm still kind of adjusting these a bit here. And then let's unveil your tarot cards. We'll see. I would not be surprised, though, if you got either the Two of Wands or the Three of Wands, but we'll see. So we have first up, the Four of Cups reversed. That's about paying attention to something, noticing something, like, I've been looking at all these things right in front of me, but there's another cup behind me that I'm not noticing. But reversed, it's like, oh, okay, now I notice it. So it's like, I don't know, maybe something that you didn't realize you wanted until recently, and then you're like, hey, wait a minute. Hey, this is actually like an option or something for me. We'll see what else pops out. We have the Queen of Swords reversed. Okay, so that's kind of what I was talking about, like being not sure whether or not you want to commit to something, or maybe a bit of internal confusion is a good way to talk about the Queen of Swords reversed, at least in terms when it applies to the querent. Let's see. Number 3, the Tower. Okay, so the Tower is a moment of pivotal change. Literally, it's the card of massive change in tarot. So definitely something new is going on. Something's ending, something's beginning. That's very, very, very clear so far, pile number 1s. Then we have the Eight of Cups. Okay, yep. So I was talking about, I was like, I wonder if you're going on a journey somewhere, and especially too with you already having the cartographer, which is, we think of someone who makes maps, right? We think of travel, journeys, adventures. The Eight of Cups is about emotionally moving on from something, and that's why it often depicts someone literally like moving forward on a journey. So yeah, you're definitely leaving something behind here soon, pile number 1s. We'll try to glean what it is specifically, but as a general reading, everyone's going to be a bit different. Still, though, there's definitely a theme popping out. And then, so remember I said I wouldn't be surprised if you got the Two or the Three of Wands. Okay, so you got the Two of Wands reversed, pile number 1s. The Two of Wands reversed is about, it's that energy I was just talking about before this popped out, where I was like, oh, you kind of want to maybe go somewhere, but you're not sure yet. That's exactly what this energy is with the Two of Wands reversed, okay? Literally represented by I believe it is the Roman god Janus, which is the god that we get the word January from for the first month of the year. That's literally because he's a two-faced god looking at the past and also looking at the future at once. So literally a god of like doorways, a god of looking back and looking forward. And so this reverse tells me that there's been some hesitation. A little bit of hesitation on this. You're like, I don't know, especially with trust here. You're like, I don't know if I should trust this. So basically, to summarize so far, pile number 1s, what's happening next in your life is you are about to embark on a journey of some sort, a new beginning of some sort, especially with Aurora Garden talking about, beginning, initiate, origin. There's something that you're setting out for. You almost have kind of like the energy of the Fool in tarot. The Fool is like the beginning of a journey. Someone who's about ready to pack their knapsack and bring their, pet along with them and just start embarking on the open road. But I think what's happening with you, though, pile number 1s, is that because this is a future reading, this is in the next month or so or 2, right? I'm not even sure if you're at the point of realizing that this is something you want yet, because the trajectory of these tarot cards tells me that you're still going to be going through a lot of thinking in the next 2 months over this decision, okay? Because the outcome here, the Two of Wands reversed, tells me you're still, when this occurs, this thing that's going on, right? At the end, the outcome is you're still a little bit hesitant, you're not sure where to go. But the beautiful thing is that these next 2 months or so, or 30 to 60 days, your spirit team is saying, are going to be very pivotal and important in you figuring out exactly how to turn that Two of Wands right side up again and to say, okay, this is my plan and this is what I'm doing. So if you've been kind of wailing about in unknowns or confusion or not sure where to go, pile number 1s, if you've been feeling like, oh man, I wish I just had a map to my future, and I would literally like a cartographer does, they create maps, right? You are the cartographer in the next 2 months or so here, pile number 1s, figuring out this is where I want to go, or this is the thing I'm thinking about, plotting your way, plotting the way forward, and like I said, turning that Two of Wands reversed upside down and saying, okay, now I have my map and now I'm ready to go. So that's what's happening next for you, pile number 1s. And looking at what's happening here, with the trajectory of these tarot cards. Yes, we talked about the outcome of you might not be quite ready to go on the journey yet in the next 2 months. You're in the process of deciding where you want to go, right? Or if you want to commit to it, maybe isn't another issue. Maybe that's where the trust comes from, is you're like, I don't know, this is kind of risky. I don't know if I want to do this. That kind of hesitation that, should I really trust this type of decision? Like, is it too big for me? Is it the right thing to do? Those types of questions, right? Yeah, so that's the outcome. But on the way there, there's something that spurs you to think more about this change that kind of, I don't want to say comes out of the blue, because I think it's been in the back of your mind for a while, especially with the origin card here of the Four of Cups reverse. Like I said, that's the card of paying attention to something, finally. Like, you're like, this little songbird has been singing back here in the window and is like, hey, pay attention to me. You have a cup back here, but right now you've only been focusing on the things right in front of you. But reversed, it's like, okay, spark. All of a sudden I hear that songbird and I'm like, okay, wait a minute, there's something here that I think I want to explore more. Now, there's going to be that time of confusion a little bit, especially with the Queen of Swords reversed. She's someone who, being reversed, is not quite clear in the way that she's logically thinking about something, or she's not quite sure, like, the logical, tactical path to take forward on something. But what happens is a time of pivotal change. That's the core card right here, is the Tower for you. You're going to have what they call a tower moment in tarot. Sometimes people think that's scary because it is a radical change of some sort, but I often see the Tower as actually a positive card most of the time, pile number ones, and especially with what's going on here, I see it as a positive thing for you. This is a good change coming. This is something that has been singing to you in the back of your mind, but you haven't really been paying attention to it, but then something happens in the next 2 months or so, from the time you view this reading, where you're like, okay, now here's the change coming. Here's the roller coaster moment. You've been climbing up that hill, that roller coaster, and then that tower moment comes, and then boom, things start going really fast, right? And what that brings you to is a decision. I need to move on from something. And, it's funny because in the near future card, you have the Eight of Cups. And like I said, that's about emotionally moving on or moving past something. And for some of you, this might be a literal actual journey, especially with the abundance of cards about, like, the cartographer going out on things, exploration, going out, I already kind of said that, but you know what I'm trying to get at. Some of you, it might be a physical journey. Some of you, it might actually be an emotional journey of some sort, pile number ones. It might be an emotional journey of deciding to emotionally move on past a heartbreak of some sort. And then you have a tower moment that gives you that pivotal change of, oh, this is how I move on. Or I'm ready to move on, maybe at least. It could be emotionally moving on from a relationship or a place or a job or insert thing here that's not serving you anymore. And yeah, like I said, at the end, Two of Wands reversed, you might not be quite ready at the end of these 2 months or so ahead to go forward yet. You're not quite sure of everything, but the most important step of every journey, pile number ones, even more than the actual physical steps, is deciding to take a step in the first place, and that's what's happening next for you in your life. And, it seems like there's something here about it being like a new beginning for you in some way, especially with the Aurora Garden. It says beginning, initiate, origin, right? You also have clearing from your helper guides from the Spirit Guide Oracle that we pulled from today. And clearing is all about making things, making way for things. It's almost like a spring cleaning of the soul. When you do spring cleaning, it's like you're getting out all the dust of the winter and the stagnancy and the inactivity, and it's like bringing something back to life again. It's almost emblematic or symbolic, maybe is a better word, of how the earth reawakens after the winter into the spring. Like, things have been kind of stagnant and cold and yucky for a while, and then all of a sudden there's a new beginning of the spring and things become more lush and verdant, right? As we experience every single year with the cycle of the year, at least, places that have 4 seasons. I'm sure I've never lived in like a dry and wet season area, but for those of you out there who have lived in a dry and wet season area versus the 4 seasons of some other climates, you know what I mean? There's at least, especially after the dry season, the wet season comes and the rains come and things probably tend to grow more, right? There's a renewal, there's a reawakening, there's something clearing out, and your spirit guides, your spirit team are helping you during this time in this next 2 months or so to clear and realize, okay, this is what I need to get rid of in my life. This is what I need to move on from. And maybe even you start getting a bit of an inkling about this is how I do it, though. Once again, 2 of Wands reversed, you might not be quite at a solid decision yet at the end, okay? Within the next 60 days or so. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful reading, pile number ones. This is something that I see very positive things coming from, something that is exciting, something that, I mean, looking at these cards here, let me look at the elements here. So we have cups, swords, a lot of cups, and cups are the suit of water, which is the suit of emotions in tarot. So a lot that is good for your heart, I feel like. I associate, cups with the heart because of emotions, things like that. So even if it is, a physical journey or an emotional journey, or maybe even both, because oftentimes a physical journey also encapsulates an emotional journey of some sorts. It's something that's very good for your heart, for healing and renewing your heart. Things like that. And also, I feel there's also like an element of like mental stimulation in this journey, especially with the air symbolism with the cartographer. We think of air, and you also have the Queen of Swords, and swords is air in tarot, right? So there's a little bit of a mental stimulation element to this, something that's kind of reawakening a curiosity in you, something that's inviting you to explore more, especially once again, cartographer, because that's literally what a cartographer does, right? They explore and they make a map. They figure out, okay, this is where I'm going. And, they take their inner compass or their heart, at least when we talk about this from a spiritual level, and they figure out, okay, this is where my heart or my compass is pointing me, and I make the map from there, things like that. So yeah, very good for the heart, healing for the heart, stimulating for the mind, looking too at your Hidden Worlds Oracle. Let me look a little bit closer at this particular card. I want to see if there's anything intuitive coming out. Apologies for a moment of silence here. There's something about it where I feel like it might have been like a lifelong yearning of yours, pile number ones. But it was something you always put on the back burner, or you always thought, oh, that I'll never get there. That's unrealistic. So that's why you haven't really actually fully entertained the notion yet. But it's somewhere that will bring you to loftier heights, and that could mean in terms of, I don't necessarily want to say status, because, this isn't really about it could, if it's a job related thing, it could bring you to a more successful class in life, right? Making more money is one potential outcome, financial success, right? But loftier in terms of, I see it less of an earthly financial thing, even though that could be part of it, right? Like I said, but loftier in terms of there's a higher connection to your purpose where this is going. There's a higher connection to the meaning of your life with this. Does that kind of make sense, pile number ones? But yeah, there's definitely yearning, fueling whatever this choice is, whatever this tower moment is, and this deciding to move on somewhere else. Yeah. Something that will make you feel a lot more unburdened. Something that will make you feel a lot more aligned. Or these are the words that are kind of coming to mind. And two, I'm really drawn to the statue in this particular card. She's holding, I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but she's holding a lyre in her hands. And the lyre is basically ancient form of a harp, pretty much. And so I think of music too. I don't know if some of you you indulge in music, you make instruments, I know I had one viewer, I think it was last video, they talked about making guitars. So hey, if that's you, if you're watching this reading, hey, I see you. But, in general too, something with music too, with lyre, at least for some of you. I don't know if it's moving to some place where your music will be more successful or whatever it is, though, for those of you even where music doesn't apply, it's just more aligned and it's more lofty. Things like that. Beautiful. Though part of your reluctance, though, I think, is that it does require an element of trust, like your Dream Ritual Oracle here says. Trust. And that's the hardest part of taking a risk like this, pile number ones, is just knowing, well, do I trust my gut instinct or my higher purpose calling to me? It's that, I like to use writing, excuse me, I mispronounced that. Writing metaphors in my readings a lot. And the writing metaphor I want to use for you today, pile number ones, is this is the step of a story where the hero, you being the hero in the example, right? Where the hero is called to adventure, but they're reluctant to take and answer that call. So in some stories, literally it's, I use Harry Potter a lot because everybody knows Harry Potter basically. In Harry Potter, he got the letter to Hogwarts and he's like, well, I'm not sure, if I should go. And, his aunt and his uncle kept burning the letters, even though they sent like a billion of them through the chimney and through the owls, right? So that it's called the inciting incident in a story. And so this is your inciting incident. That's that tower moment coming from you, for you, is an inciting incident, pile number ones. And the beauty of that is what that means is that's the spark of a new adventure, like I was saying. Or I think of, if you ever watch, use a Disney movie, Frozen 2, literally when Elsa hears the voice call to her, that's a literal actual call to adventure. I mean, it's kind of a pun in and of itself. Or, what's a good example? I'm trying to think, but using popular culture examples, things like that, the call to adventure, that's what you're getting, and that's what you're coming to, pile number ones. And it could literally be, for some of you, an actual adventure here, especially with cartographer, something that lightens the mind and lightens the burden on your soul, things like that. Mentally stimulating, but especially good for the heart. So I have some extra time for you, pile number ones, and I want to make good use of our time together. So I want to pull like 3 final cards of advice for you going forward with this, because especially with this not being like the type of reading where I'm saying for sure this big event is going to happen, other than you're going to start thinking about it. I think the best way to use our time together is to talk more about how do we get to that point of that event of a tangible thing happening next. Okay, so let's ask your spirit team that. Spirit team, collectively, for pile number ones, could you give me 3 cards of advice regarding them turning that 2 of wands reversed right side up to getting to a solid plan for whatever this dream is? Thank you. For their highest, best, good. Okay, well, that's literally 3 cards popping out. Do I take them? Let's do a reshuffle. I just want to make sure, because sometimes it's just my poor shuffling. We'll reshuffle that pile number ones. There we go. Okay, spirits, thank you. 3 cards or so. Advice on turning that 2 of wands upside down, or right side up, I should say. There we go, that's a better shuffle. Okay, so probably that one. We have the Hermit reversed coming out of our shell more, yep. We have Temperance reversed, something about moderation or balance in things, the balance of life. And we have the 10 of Cups reversed. Okay, something about a lack of happiness. So pile number ones, I think, in terms of advice for you on turning that 2 of wands reversed energy right side up and having a solid plan for this, the zenith of where these 2 months ahead or so are going, right? Your advice is, number 1, to come out of your shell more. Don't be afraid. Don't hide away. So that's just another indication to me that probably a lot of you, this is like a coming out of your shell adventure type moment, right? Come out of your shell more. Don't be afraid. Don't hide away with this idea. Be willing to come out into the open with whatever this is. Be willing to put yourself out there is a new great phrase to use, right? And then in terms of Temperance reversed, and especially next to the 10 of Cups reversed, that tells me that wherever you are right now, and I think maybe that's where the tower moment comes from, that moment of pivotal change that makes you go, oh, wait a minute, maybe I should go on this journey, or it sparks the idea for it. Whatever is leading you to it is something in your life that is making you very unhappy with the 10 of Cups reversed, because that's, it feels like the lack of happily ever after, lack of emotional satisfaction is probably a better term to use. Then Temperance 2 is about reversed, at least, imbalance or lack of moderation. There's something in your life right now they're telling you to pay close attention to where you're either unhappy or in combination. There's a lack of balance. Could be a job where there's too much work and no play. Could be, a relationship where there's something really imbalanced there and it's making you unhappy, especially with the 10 of Cups reversed, because Cups is also the suit of relationships in tarot. So for those of you that are in a relationship that you're not very happy with right now, That's another indicator that you're not wrong for being unhappy with it, right? And so pay special attention to those feelings and don't be afraid to let them come to the surface. Also, like I said, don't be afraid to put yourself out there and be bold with these things. Be bold with your ideas. Be bold with what your spirit team is encouraging you to entertain in terms of ideas of new adventures for you and new beginnings, okay? And then number, well, I guess 4, because 1, 2, 3, right? I want to harken back to the trust card. Trust that your spirit team has your back in this. Trust that you know the pathway, even though you might feel like you're completely lost and you're not sure where to go. Your heart, it sounds corny, but I'll say it. Your heart is the compass here. That is the tool you will use as the cartographer of your own life going forward with this journey, pile number 1s. Okay, so I will leave you with that today, my beautiful, lovely pile number 1s. I hope that reading was helpful for you. As always, if it did help you and it resonated, please like, comment, and or subscribe. It helps the channel, helps me provide more readings for everybody. And I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading, pile number 1s. Bye. Hello there, my lovely pile number 2s. Welcome to your pick a card reading today on the topic of unveiling what's next in your life within roughly 30 to 60 days, 2 months. As you recall, the deck used to pick your pile today was the Tarot of the Golden Wheel. And as always, when we pick with decks, I like to put the card right back into it and pull the tarot cards right away. So let's do that right now on screen. We'll put your oracle cards over here. Let's shuffle. Spirit team of my lovely pile number 2s, collectively, could you give me around 5 tarot cards that explain more about what's happening next in their life? Thank you for their highest best good. Okay, there's one already. That one came pretty clear. We have the 9 of Pentacles or Wheels reversed. And looking at the other cards, we have, let's see, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's unveil everything. Pile number 2s, except, well, spoiler alert, you already know the 9 of Pentacles reversed is one of your tarot cards. From your oracle decks, from the Ask Your Guides oracle, you received, oh, beautiful, number 12, Pause. We have someone, looks like she's meditating. Bit of heart chakra vibes here, right? Pause. Beautiful card. Then from the Citadel Oracle, you received Fire Element, the Waker, Awareness, and Reflection. Okay, so a bit of a theme coming out here. We have some meditative vibes, being aware of things, reflecting on things. Also a lot of fiery energy, especially all that red in this card, and fire being the alchemical symbol of that particular card from the Citadel Oracle. And then I'm also going to actually do the Hidden Worlds Oracle next, because sometimes this one is a landscape versus like a portrait, so that makes it different is where I might place it on the table. So let's look at your Hidden Worlds Oracle. You received, okay, so it is a portrait, number 28, Mountain Goddess, high vibration, mindfulness, power of the mind. Okay, so lots of meditation, mental, spiritual vibes with your reading today, pile number 2s, okay? Beautiful. Let's see, I'm actually going to put this one over here. I think that's a good spot for it. Make everything a little bit more neat. And then from the Dream Ritual Oracle today, you received Illuminate, making things clear. Yep. You have, and my longtime viewers will laugh because I say this all the time, you have what I call a hammer reading, pile number 2s, and that's a reading where the meaning is pretty clear, hammered like a hammer on a nail again and again. That's why I call it a hammer reading, right? But we'll see what your tarot cards say. So far, though, I'm getting the sense that whatever this new thing happening in your life here within the next 30 to 60 days is something about reflecting on something in your life, a little bit more of a spiritual meditation vibe, becoming aware of something or something being made clear is probably like a more tangible example. Also probably a good time for things to slow down, right? I would not be surprised if you got, say, like the 8 of Wands reversed or maybe even the High Priestess from your 5 tarot cards, but of course, let's unveil everything before I go too far in the weeds. So first up, we have the 6 of Cups reversed, okay? Something about either negativity from childhood or something from the past, maybe is bothering you or has been, things like that. It's often the card of nostalgia, childhood. Then we have the Chariot, taking the reins, taking control, going forth with willpower in some way. Beautiful. Third, we have Death reversed. Okay, maybe a refusal to change something, or something is you want it to change, but you've been having some struggles with it, especially this being the middle card, being the central energy of the reading. Yeah. Something you've been wanting to change and it just been stubborn, or you've not had the resources to change it. Interesting. Number 4, we have the King of Pentacles reversed. Okay. That's having some struggles in terms of financial security or material wealth around you. Okay. And last but not least, we have, like I said, the 9 of Pentacles reversed. That's the one we already saw. That is not getting the fruits of your labor. There's some area of your life where I think finances are concerned, especially because you have a lot of pentacles in this reading pile. Number 2s. I'm actually just going to shift these a bit so we can see everything a bit clearer on my limited space here. Yeah, so definitely, it's interesting because you have a reading that has a lot of like meditative thinking, spiritual, mindful vibes, but you also have a lot of pentacles in your tarot cards, which, like I said, tarot or pentacles and tarot is a lot about, well, it's the earth suit, so it's about the very like tangible things around us, material wealth and security in our homes. Sometimes it can mean our bodies, things like that. So what I'm seeing for you, pile number 2, is there's something big happening in the next 30 to 60 days or so that is a connection between the mind and the body, or the mind and the soul and the physical things around you, if I were to summarize it from a very bird's eye point of view. Okay, so like, let's see. Looking at the trajectory of your tarot cards. It's like, what's the best way to put it? Sorry for a moment of silence. I just want to make sure that I'm saying this correctly. Yeah, connection between the body and the mind. See, the past drive, yeah. You know what it is, pile number 2s? I think you have been... I'm drawn back to the Death card in the middle, reversed, like I said. Death reversed is either a refusal to change or having some struggle getting something to change here. Okay, that's the central energy of what's going on. And I think up till this point, you've been struggling with it. I think it's been something... It's either something from your past or from childhood, especially because you have the 6 of Cups reversed. It could be just finances in general that you've been struggling with, that you've wanted some change in, especially with the Abundance of Pentacles in your reading. Either way, your spirit team has been, like, they're commending you for the effort that you've been putting in on trying to fix these things or trying to make them better. And they're acknowledging that, yes, you've been having some struggles in this area getting this situation to change. But what they're saying is because of the presence of the Chariot, it's like, it's not your lack of effort that's the issue, pile number 2s. It's not something in your hands or a failure on your own part. What it is it almost feels like there's a divine timing element to it. And I think that's why, or at least intuitively I'm being told, there's such an abundance of cards, with your oracle cards at least, of mindfulness and meditation, the spiritual side of things, being made aware. I mean, because literally, even when you look at, like, pause, she's meditating, and meditation oftentimes is, well, yes, for relaxation, but it's also to be made aware of things spiritually, or getting in tune with ourselves spiritually, aware of our feelings, aware of what the other side is trying to tell us, depending on how you use your meditation. And not just that, too, but you also have the waker. Literally, it's like an eye opening and being aware of something. And illuminate is literally kind of the same thing. This is why I called it a hammer reading of, like, something is being illuminated or brought to light. Same thing with Mountain Goddess, high vibration, mindfulness, power of the mind. They're telling you that in the next 30 to 60 days or so, you're going to realize that this, I mean, well, I'm telling you right now, but in general, you'll maybe finally believe it, that this was not your fault, pile number 2 of what's going on. You have taken the reins here with the recent past card being the Chariot. You've been trying to drive forward with breaking whatever this issue from the past is. And they're saying we acknowledge that there's a lack of change here, but take a deep breath. It's going to be okay, and you're going to realize this happened for a reason, pile number 2. It was something to do with divine timing, and you, okay, pile number 2 you having, your soul, I'll say, having a need to become aware of something spiritually or mentally before this change can occur. And this is the thing that's happening next in your life, is this process of becoming aware, awakening, illuminating, pausing, meditating, power of the mind, understanding, okay, finally click. Now I know why this wasn't happening, okay? And like I said, I think the relief in it is you'll realize it wasn't your fault, pile number 2. So if you've been beating yourself up a lot recently, I mean, it's hard to believe it when it's just a tarot reader telling you, like, hey, this is what my pretty cards say, But I think that's part of the journey of the next 30 to 60 days or so for you, is you realizing, yeah, it wasn't my fault. There was something that needed to happen, or in the universe to click into place before I could make progress in this area. Now, in the near future and the outcome cards, you have the King of Pentacles reversed and the Nine of Pentacles reversed. A lot about earthly energies being pentacles, right? King of Pentacles reversed is about feeling a little bit of a lack of finances or success with finances. And like I said before, the Nine of Pentacles reversed as the outcome is about realizing not getting the fruits for your labor. Okay, so what that tells me, pile number 2, is now don't run away from the reading saying, oh God, I'm going to be poor as crap in the next 2 months. That's not what this is saying. What I'm being told is because of so many cards giving you advice to pay attention to the spiritual side of things, the universal side of things, what your spirit team tells you, meditating, right? Becoming aware. You'll realize that lack of abundance issue that you've been having in whatever area of your life this is was because you were not being justly rewarded. You were not getting the fruits for your labor, and that's why the Nine of Pentacles reversed is the outcome. You're going to realize, hey, wait a minute, I've been cheated. Hey, wait a minute, I'm not getting paid what I'm worth. Now, for some of you, I'll give a tangible example. For some of you, this might be realizing at a job that you're working that they're not paying you what you're worth. You thought it was, oh, it's my fault, I must suck. Okay, I think that's, just to put it bluntly, that might have been the thought process you had, pile number 2, is up till this point. But then you'll realize, hey, wait a minute, no, I'm getting cheated here. I'm getting, I was going to say something more in a more naughty way, but, this is YouTube, so I won't say it that way. Getting screwed over, we'll put it that way. That's more friendly, right? Getting screwed over, getting not your just desserts or your just rewards for the effort that you've been putting in. Same thing, like, even if it's not a job where it's like you have a boss to answer to, maybe you're your own boss and it's a self-employed type thing going on. There's some aspect of like, it's not your fault, and part of coming to financial abundance is realizing that you're worth more, okay? That's the general energy here, okay, of what's going on. And, some of you, it might not be related to your job. Some of you, it might not be related to money in general. Of course, Pentacles, I tend to trend towards saying it's about finances. But in either case, as a general reading, yes, the key or the answer to the pain that you've been having, the lack of change, pile number 2, is realizing you're worth more than you think you are, okay? And part of that journey towards realizing that is about meditation and reflection and bringing things to light through self-reflection. I'll just say it, meditation. Meditate, okay? You're being very told bluntly, meditate more, okay? I don't know how often you meditate. Everyone's going to be different watching this, but yeah, that's what's going on, pile number 2. And so to summarize what's really going on in, what's happening next in your life is an awakening of self-worth. If I were to summarize everything I just said in about one sentence, an awakening of self-worth. That's what's going on for you in the next few months or so. And the beautiful thing about it is that when you realize that you're worth more, that's when that change will come in. It's almost this mindset change that you needed to believe you were worth more before the universe was going to say, hey, okay, now you're going to get more. Things like that. And that might manifest sometimes in learning to speak up for yourself more. Say, hey, if it's at a job that's not paying you right, you say, hey, this is the work I'm doing tangibly. This is the standard pay for this type of job. And then say to the manager, hey, I'm going to leave unless you pay me maybe what other companies would. Of course, sometimes there's wiggle room. Sometimes you stay because you like the other benefits of the job, or you like the manager themselves, or, maybe they're a smaller operation and they can't pay you as much. But then still, though, you're worth more, pile number 2s, and whatever this way it manifests in your life. And you need to realize that. And that's the beauty, too, of like the heart chakra being emphasized here in the pause card. There's a light over her heart, and the heart chakra, at least to me, speaks of, love, number 1, but especially self-love, okay? This is also a reawakening of self-love for you, not just self-worth, but self-appreciation for who you are. So, there's a lot of this that is tangible, but I think most of this journey here of what's coming next for you, pile 2, is an internal journey, okay? A realization. And the beautiful thing about that is that when you have an internal realization or a journey of the mind, of the spirit, that can carry you even farther than if it was just a tangible thing occurring. Does that kind of make sense? Yeah, there is some tangibility here with the finances and the realizing, and then that leading to the change, of course. But this is something that's a lot more impactful than just your finances. It's something that's a lot more impactful than just, being more valued by other people, okay? It's something that's impactful in the way that it can change your life just because of the value of changing your mindset about who you believe you are and what you believe you're worth, okay? And that's why there's such an emphasis on the mind in all of these cards, okay? Now, for pile number 1s, I pulled some extra advice cards. Let's see, do I want to pull extra advice for you, or do I want to maybe do a more predictive final question? I'm going to do a predictive final question. I'm going to ask your spirit team if they can tell us more about where is this all leading to? Like, more of a tangible prediction of because we talked about the mind, we talked about realizing your self-worth, and that's beautiful, pile number 2s, but I want to know tangibly, spirit team of pile number 2s, tangibly, where is this leading in about 3 cards or so? What beautiful thing is waiting for them after this realization? What's the change? The tangible outside the mind. Okay, so we have the Knight of Cups, beautiful, taking action with our emotions. So we'll do some prediction type reading here. We have the Knight of Cups, action with our emotions. Number 2, we have the Sun reversed, okay? And then we have, let's see, doing the Magician. Look at all these major arcana. Yep. Major life lesson pile, number 2s. So, yeah, where this is leading is, especially the Knight of Cups being next to the Sun reversed. So the Sun reversed is typically about either sadness or a lack of clarity on something. And then the Knight of Cups is taking action on our feelings, someone who is passionate and lets their heart guide their way. And then the Magician is about manifesting and gathering the tools you need to be successful, to bring to reality the things that you've been dreaming about, as above so below. Okay, manifesting. It's a great, just one word way to put it. Where this is leading for you, pile number 2, is this change is, if I had to pin it down to one sentence, I would say it's a journey of the heart spurred on by the thing that's making you sad or upset, and I think that's where that Sun reversed comes from, to manifest what it is that you've been looking for. Because like I said, it was that thing where it's like the universe needed your mindset to change before the universe would change for you. Yeah. So whatever it is that's been making you sad recently, with that Sun reversed, it's like action's going to be spurred in that area towards manifesting whatever it is that you felt like wasn't coming your way. So I know that's kind of vague, pile number 2s, and that's kind of reiterating what I was already talking about. But A, that's just a double confirmation that, hey, this is coming your way. But number 2, or B, I should say, the indicator as to what will manifest for you is the thing that you've been wanting to change, or the thing that's been making you like sad in regards to a lack of change, okay? All it requires from you is that self-reflection and that meditation, that awakening, illuminating, making clear, especially, and the sun too reversed is also about a lack of clarity on things, because we think of light as, oh, it brings clarity to things. That's how we see, is, you know, photons bounce off of our, you know, optic nerve, and that's literally how your eyeballs work, right? You know, literally light lets us see. And the sun being the card of light, yeah, lack of clarity reversed. It's like your heart in this meditative state in the next 2 months or so will bring that clarity, turn that sun reversed upside down, and that's what will bring the manifestation of the magician here. Beautiful. So a really good time to come across or get to the things you've been wanting to manifest here after these next 2 months or so. So probably what I'm seeing here is like, so what we talked about before is the next 2 months or so, and then this is like the outcome afterwards. So I would expect this after the 2 months. So there is some work to be done. Okay, I'm not saying it's going to be an easy snap of your fingers. Hey, everything's great. I love myself now. I feel like I'm worth more. Boom. It's going to be that process over the next 2 months. And then that, after all the work is done, pile number 2's manifestation, surrounding what's been making you unhappy and taking action with the things you've been feeling, or the heart, okay? And that death reverse too will also change back up, right side up, and bring about new life in something that you felt was dead, okay? And that's the beauty of your reading today, pile number 2's. So yes, I mean, last pieces of advice, meditate your butt off, okay? Get in touch with your spirit team as much as you can, you know, whatever you prefer. Some like ancestors, some prefer spirit guides, some prefer guardian angels, whatever it is that you like to, or deities, whatever you like to connect to. There's something here about connecting in some way to beings that will help bring illumination and you more in touch with yourself. So you could even do like higher self meditations. That's another recommendation of mine here. Also, heart chakra related meditations I would recommend, okay? Or heart chakra focused yoga would be great if you're into yoga. Things like that. Surrounding yourself with the color like green and healing type things. You know, green is associated with the heart chakra. You know, maybe wear a green shirt once a week or something like that. Like, I know it sounds silly, but color therapy really does help, right? It does actually have a tangible effect on the mind, surrounding ourselves with colors, like, and green is like with healing, right? And especially too with the 6 of Cups reversed having been the origin card of your original tarot reading, that tells me that there's like a pain from the past, and so there is healing to be done here. And I think that's really what the awakening is some of you, I won't go too deep into the psychology, but some of you, maybe this lack of self-worth or lack of self-love is regarding, you know, maybe having been made to feel that way earlier on in your life. You know, a lot of us that do struggle with like self-esteem or self-love issues, it's because of things that were conditioned into us when we were younger in childhood with that 6 of Cups reversed, right? And so maybe part of that meditative state, that illumination, is realizing, okay, that's what caused my lack of self-worth. Because the issue is that sometimes we view those things imprinted upon our minds as the truth, but really what it is it's the tinted lens that someone else put over our own glasses that we have to work to take off and realize, hey, that's not actually the true color of the nature of myself. That's just the color of what someone else wanted to cast upon me, and I have to break that color into what's the true nature of what's going on here, okay? So focus on bringing light to things. Meditation, heart chakra related things would be my recommendation, like I said. And yes, once that pivotal change comes about here with that death reversed, you'll find whatever it is that you've been feeling that lack of change in, what you've been unhappy with, especially maybe some financial issues here with the pentacles that were at the end of the first reading. You're going to manifest what it is after this process is finished, okay? Pile number 2. So I will leave you with that for your reading today. As always, I hope it was helpful for you. If it resonated, if you liked the reading, please like, comment, and or subscribe if you haven't yet. Helps the channel out. Helps me provide more readings for everybody, including yourself if you decide to return. So with that said, I'll wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading, pile number 2's. Bye. Hello there, my lovely pile number 3's. Welcome to your pick a card reading today on the topic of unveiling what's next in your life, roughly 30 to 60 days or 2 months from the time you view this timeless reading. Of course, we picked your pile today with the Vivid Journey Tarot, the High Priestess from that particular deck. And when I pick with decks, I like to put the card right back into it and shuffle your tarot cards right away. So let's do that right now on screen. I've always loved this deck. I haven't used it in a while. It's a very lovely deck, though. I also don't often see it on YouTube. I don't feel like any other readers really use the Vivid Journey. It's kind of underrated if you ask me, pile number 3s. Sorry, a bit of an aside there. I was nerding out about the deck. Spirit team of my lovely pile number 3s, could you give me around 5 cards or so explaining more about what's going on next in their life regarding, the topic at hand? What's fated to happen soon? Thank you for their highest best good. 5 cards or so, please. Thank you. Spirit team collectively of pile number 3s. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Beautiful. Let's unveil your cards together. Pile number 3s from the Oracle decks today. We have from the Ask Your Guides Oracle. Oopsie, well, we saw the Citadel Oracle, so we'll just do that now because that went flipping. From the Citadel Oracle today, you received a water card, the Painter, Productivity and Creation. Gorgeous card. I love the foil in the red here. The Painter, Productivity and Creation, Water Element. Gorgeous. Okay, the one I was trying to flip over before everything went helter-skelter. Ask Your Guides Oracle today, you received, Charity, number 43 from Nature Spirits. Charity. She has a flower growing from her hands and a seed being given from above. Also a gorgeous card. What about flowers today? In blue. Water element. Okay, and then from the Dream Ritual Oracle today, you received Revisit. And then I'm not going to put this one down right away because sometimes this Oracle of the Hidden Worlds is a landscape card, so I just want to see what it is before I put everything through. Okay, I was just talking about water. Number 43, Water Spirit, Emotions, Memory, Life Force. A lot about your feelings and water and other flowers too. We have, it looks like, are those irises? I believe those are irises right there, and lotuses or water lilies. A lot about things blooming and memory and emotions and water. Revisiting things. Okay, maybe a fruitful time for creativity and our heart. Let's see what else pops out, though, before I say conclusively. So from your tarot cards today, you receive the Knight of Pentacles. Slow and steady wins the race. Someone who takes their time and is methodical about things, taking action in the financial realm or the material realm around us. Has sometimes multiple interpretations depending on if it's a person or a thing we're talking about. So we'll see what else comes out in context. We have the Queen of Wands reversed, another court card. Feeling maybe a lack of inspiration or creativity in something, lack of confidence. Internal fire has been a bit dimmed maybe in some way in the recent past position. Okay, middle we have the 5 of Cups, sorrow. Being sad about something as the central card. That's the central energy here. Okay, don't run from the reading yet. We'll see what else pops out. I know I just talked about sorrow, but we'll see. At number 4, we have strength reversed. Feeling like we have lacked strength or feeling like we have a lack of ability to do things, lack of willpower. It also means lack of confidence, kind of like what the Queen of Wands reversed means sometimes. So, emotion centralized. This particular reading. We'll see what else pops out. And then the 5 of Pentacles. Okay, 5 of Pentacles is feeling a lack of something in the material world. Can mean poverty. And once again, I know a lot of you are like, oh my god, my months are gonna suck. Just wait. Okay, just wait. We'll see what happens. Because I don't get a bad feeling off of this reading, pile number 3. So, okay, let's see what's going on here. I'm going to just take a drink and take a quick pause as I look over your cards. Apologies for just a moment of silence here. It's interesting you got the poverty card, but also charity. I wonder if someone is going to be helping you with something regarding your finances in some area, at least as one part of the reading, or one part of the next 2 months coming up here. So I would look out for that. I think that's kind of a side note to the main part of the reading, pile number 3 but I feel like if there's an area you've been financially struggling in, that charity from nature spirits tells me, I feel like there's some charity coming for you or help coming for you with if you've been struggling. So keep an eye out for that as just a side note. Interesting. I find it funny, too, that you have memory and revisit. Something from the past. You know? We're sad. Lack of confidence. Slow and steady. Yeah, so pile number 3 is... There's kind of a twofold meaning with your reading today. Sorry it took me a while to get to it, but I just wanted to... There were so many messages kind of coming forth that it was like, okay, I gotta get my ducks in a row and figure out, okay, we have the side note of charity with financial issues, right? Okay. But there's also a twofold meaning about your reading here, otherwise, besides that helping with poverty or helping with financial issues thing. So the twofold message of the main thing is... These next 2 months or so are going to be a lot about revisiting things from your past, because you do have, like, revisit from your Dream Ritual Oracle. You also have emotions and memory, specifically from your Water Spirit card. And I don't necessarily see that it's going to be, like, memory or revisiting the past in a negative way, but I think it's going to bring about some sort of, and just hear me out, don't run from the reading, I'm being told it's a fruitful sadness, okay? And when I say fruitful sadness, I mean something from your past that might kind of hurt to think about, or might kind of, it might drudge up some things by revisiting it, okay? But the beauty of it, pile number 3, is that when you choose to look back on what this particular issue was, or these maybe multiple experiences, when you revisit them, this thing that has caused you sadness, it's going to bring about a renaissance in your life of new creativity and new confidence, okay? And also, I think it's going to, and I think that's why the 5 of Pentacles is your outcome. I don't necessarily see that as you're going to lose money and be poor, right? Because I did see charity as well. I feel like you're going to get help in that area if you've been struggling in that area. But specifically, it's like you're going to realize that what you had before in terms of inspiration and creativity was a poverty compared to what you're going to have in your creativity and inspiration after you go through some, maybe a little bit of a revisiting of the past. Some of you, I almost get the inclination that it's like you're revisiting an actual place from your past. You know, I don't know if it's like your childhood home or some place that, you know, you is like from childhood, but might not necessarily be your childhood home, like maybe a vacation home that you used to go to, or maybe a specific, you know, thing that your parents used to take you to, or other family members, or in general, though, like something from the past, or maybe multiple things too. And so there's almost a little bit of an inner child feeling here with the next 2 months or so in invigorating this renaissance of creativity and inspiration. So if you've been feeling like lackluster in life recently regarding creative things or your productivity, especially with the pain or productivity and creation, right? And you're wondering, like, why has everything been so dang sluggish? Like, especially with the 9 of Pentacles being the first card, because that's, you know, it is positive technically, because it's slow and steady wins the race. It's someone who takes action, like, in a more slow, methodical manner, but the Queen of Wands reversed being right next to it tells me that even so you've been plodding along and you're like, okay, yep, I'm getting through the motions of life, there's been a lack of passion in what you've been doing. There's been a lack of creativity and or like a confidence of some sort. And I think that's what has been causing the sadness with the 5 of Cups in the present position, or the core card of the reading. And so you're sitting there and you're like, I'm just plodding through things. I'm getting through it, but I'm not getting through it like happily. Like, you know, you can survive things and you can get through life and make it through, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're like thriving, right? Pile number 3 is. And so that's the beauty of the sadness that's coming, or the sadness of the whatever it is that you're revisiting or reflecting on from your past, is that it creates a fruitfulness in terms of, because literally the imagery they're showing me is, it's like tears becoming water, and water, well, I guess they are technically water, but you get my point. Tears becoming a water source, and that water source feeding new life, because literally that's how plants grow, right? Things are productive and things are fruitful because they're given water and other nutrients. And sometimes in life, the most productive times, the most fruitful times, are when we allow ourselves to feel a sadness that we haven't processed yet. And that's when the fruitfulness comes forward, is realizing there's something to be gained here from revisiting whatever this was. I mean, even too, and this sounds kind of gory, but like your reading is a little dark, but in a very, very positive way, pile number 3 is, because yes, that's the thing, is that when we have a lot of life and light, there's also a balance of darkness in life, and that's the balance of life. So, you know, sometimes good things come from sadness, right? Even with your painter card, though, like, it's almost like painting red, like it's painting in blood, like it's painting in, it's like creativity made from the pain of something. That's what I'm being told. And so, you know, and it's hard for me to say that to you, pile number 3s, because I don't want to say, you know, like, hey, there's going to be sadness, but, you know, I think you should kind of look forward to it. And I know it sounds silly, but it's like sadness that's it's so crucial to making a step forward in areas of your life where you felt kind of stagnant, or feeling like you've been lacking confidence. And part of it is, you know, in the near future, you have strength reversed, okay? And strength reversed is all about feeling like a lack of actual strength, a lack of, you know, oh, I'm not good enough, a lack of confidence in things, a lack of, in general, self-worth is a really good way to put strength reversed. And then at the end, like I said, the 5 of Pentacles being the outcome card, it's like you're going to realize through that sadness, the thing that's been holding you back in these areas of your life is, it's been a poverty, literally, a poverty of self-worth. You're almost kind of like pile number 2s today, because they had a very similar message. But yeah, like a poverty of self-worth, okay? And in realizing that poverty, and I think that's why it's the outcome for you, which, you know, you don't want to hear poverty is the outcome, but the positive lining of it is, it's a poverty that, in order to fix it, you have to realize it's there, okay? And so you can't reinvigorate yourself or bring more creativity and productivity to your life if you don't first figure out what it is that's causing it, right? I mean, duh. I'm kind of just stating facts, but the step to getting there, the step to understanding is recognizing it, pile number 3s. And you can't, and I think that's why there's been a stagnancy. I almost feel like you haven't even been realizing what's wrong. And you're wondering, like, why am I feeling so stagnant here? Why am I feeling so, maybe even if you're a creative person, maybe even feeling like writer's block or creative block in general. And you're like, well, what the heck is the issue? Like, what's going on? And that's the hidden aspect of this pile number 3s is you have to go through that grief and that process, whatever that is, in order to understand that is a poverty in your life of self-worth, okay? And so that's why that's the outcome, is you realize, okay, I've been lacking this. And in realizing that you've been lacking this, boom, that's the spark that makes the fire come to life, especially, you know, in areas of your life regarding creativity and confidence and productivity, right? That's why that Queen of Wands reversed is over here. That's why you have the Painter, which talks about creativity and, you know, productivity. Things like that. And so, yeah, it's to summarize your whole reading, pile number 3s. I know I kind of vacillated between different points, but, well, number 1, like I said, side note, look for charity that might help you in an area of your life where you've been feeling an actual financial poverty, right? Okay. But also look for sadness as your guidepost or your inciting incident to explore something that will create a very fruitful time for productivity and creativity. You know, especially if you're a creative person, pile number 3s. a lot of creative people get their inspiration from the things that have made them sad. Like, I know in my personal life story, a lot of writing ideas that I get are from things that have made me sad, okay? You know, sometimes, you know, you get inspired by other emotions like love, happiness, thinking deeply about where society is going, depending on the genre you're writing. But for you, sadness is your fuel here. And you can take something that, you know, it kind of seems like it sucks on the surface, right? And turn it into something very, very, very beautiful and productive. And another thing too, pile number 3 is when we speak out about our sadness, when we speak out about the things that are upsetting us, and we use it as a fuel to reinvigorate our creativity, especially for those of you who are creative, this applies to you specifically, that can reach out and touch other people. I mean, think about it this way. Here's a question to ask yourself, pile number 3 why do you think there's so many songs out there that are popular that are about heartbreak? And I bet you most of you are going to say it's because it's relatable. And that's the beauty of this creative time for you, pile number 3s, in the next 2 months or so. This is something that it's a fruitful time for creating things that are relatable based on the emotions that you're feeling. And not only does that help you feel less alone, because especially if you put it out there, you know, you don't have to, but if you decide to put it out there, like say it's a song you make, you know, if you're a songwriter, a painting you make, if you're a painter, whatever your creative outlet is, pile number 3s, it helps you therapeutically in saying, this is my sadness and I'm acknowledging it, okay? It also helps the person consuming the content, you know, be it listening to your song, viewing your painting, reading your story. And that's the beautiful thing, is what creativity really is at its core, pile number 3s, is a heart-to-heart connection between human beings. And that's what's beautiful about it. It's a tangible connection of communication, of feelings between all of us together. And that's, you know, like I said, why do you think songs about heartbreak are so common and so popular? Because they come from pain. And that's what I'm saying for you in the next 2 months or so, pile number 3. So I know, you know, don't run away from the reading being like, oh God, this reading is depressing, because actually what it is it's a very beautiful thing. It's very fruitful. Like I said, I've used those adjectives probably a million times already. I'll use another one. Verdant. There you go. Fertile. Okay. So in the next 2 months or so, when you find yourself feeling sad, when you find yourself realizing lack in certain areas of your life, use that as fuel to drive you, pile number 3s, because there's something very special to come out of it that your spirit team is talking to you about or is predicting for you, okay? There's something very special, and especially too if you like are physically revisiting someplace, like I was saying, I feel like some of you before that came out as the side note, someplace from your childhood or someplace from your past in general, like there's some kernel of truth there or some aspect of it is very important for you to notice and or learn, okay? Or to use in something else, like a creative project, for example. Let's see if there's anything else here for you, pile number 3s. I do want to ask an additional question because I've done that for every pile today. I wanted to make sure we make the most of our time. So yeah, if you've been feeling a little bit of an actual financial pinch, pile number 3s, like I said, I feel like there's charity coming that way. Okay, some help in that area in the next 2 months. So that's a very positive note. And also, you know, even when things do feel kind of sad, maybe you're struggling through some grief, you're realizing there's a lack in your life somewhere, know that it's for a good reason, okay? It's like that metaphor I used before, the tears becoming the water source that creates new life. A perfect symbolic example of what I see for you in the next 2 months here with what's going on. So let me ask an additional question for you, pile number 3s. I want to ask, one pile today got extra advice, one pile today got extra prediction. I'm going to ask extra advice for you, pile number 3s. I think that would be the most fruitful for you. Spirit team of pile number 3s, could you give me 3 extra cards of advice for pile number 3s in navigating this time of, like as we called it, fruitful sadness, and this time of charity, revisiting things from the past and realizing things? Oh boy, well, That came flying out. Is that 2 cards? Well, it's 3 cards. Well, what do you know? We'll take them. I'm going to set these down over here. So literally just 3 came out. Okay. All at once. We have the beautiful King of Pentacles, external mastery of the material, financial security. Awesome. Turning that 5 of Pentacles right upside around, right? Like I was saying with Charity. And then we have the 2 of Wands reversed, okay? Maybe something about making solid plans for the future. And then we have the 7 of Cups, deciding what dreams we wish to pick from. What choice do we make? What passion do I want to follow? Beautiful. So pile number 3s. In terms of advice on navigating this whole situation, number 1, they're really re-emphasizing what I was saying before about help in terms of if you've been having some financial struggles recently, like that side note I said earlier. The King of Pentacles is a card of abundance regarding material security, especially external tangible things like money. I'll just say it straight out, money. Okay, so look for opportunities in the next 2 months or so, and I think that's maybe where that Charity is coming from, to increase financial abundance. Okay, that's piece of advice number 1. Also, like I said, I think it's just a re-emphasizement of, yes, financial help is coming if you've been struggling a little bit. Okay, that's what I'm seeing here. So look for areas of abundance materially in the next 2 months or so. Pay attention to those things, because I think especially that's where that Charity will come from, is you noticing, hey, here's a source of income here that might help me, or financial aid of some sort, or, things like that. Number 1, pay attention. Okay. Number 2, you have the 2 of Wands reversed. And I think especially, I feel like it's very connected with the 7 of Cups. The 2 of Wands is about needing to make plans for the future. And the 7 of Cups is deciding, what path do we want to take? What dream do I follow? So part of this realization over the next 2 months or so, I think, is about you deciding where you want to go with something, okay? It could be that maybe this is a creative passion that you actually even haven't done before, and part of it is you realizing, hey, wait a minute, this is something I like to do that helps me channel my negative feelings or my sadness, like we were talking about before. And then with that 2 of Wands reversed energy, it's like you being asked to, hey, maybe make some more solid plans around that. And maybe that's what actually brings you to that financial abundance, is you realizing, hey, this is something that I love to do, that I can make money off of, that not only is therapeutic for me, but is relatable to other people out there. It's a pros all around, and I don't see any cons, right? And that's the kind of situation I see coming up for you if you decide to. Of course, you don't have to share your work with the world, but I think with the 2 of Wands, you're being kind of encouraged towards that direction here, to make solid plans regarding the fruitfulness of what comes out of these next 2 months, okay? Solid plans. Advice number 2. Advice piece number 3 with the 7 of Cups, kind of tied in with the 2 of Wands reversed. Like I said, making choices. What dreams do we follow? Sometimes it could also mean figuring out what's real and what's not. It's kind of like the moon that way. What is the most fruitful choice, and making careful choices. So what I'm being told here, pile number 3, is this is a fruitful time for making careful choices regarding what you do with your sadness and your grief over things, okay? So, and I say that because it's like this figure is almost at the bottom, kind of drowning in the water here. But he's looking up and he's realizing, okay, these are the options before me. And we think of cups, too, as things that we can fill with water. That's literally what they do. They're liquid containment vessels, right? And so it's like making good choices about where to fuel this sadness energy will help prevent you from drowning in it. So when you do find yourself getting upset, when you do find yourself maybe processing some grief or processing things that have made you upset, be conscious of how you choose to channel it, okay? Be conscious of what cup you pour that water into, is what they're saying with that, I feel like. That type of thing. And that will also help you make those plans for the future, because I think if you do take that advice and you choose, I'm going to put it in this creative thing here we were talking about, that will help you create a solid plan towards the future regarding a way out of the sadness, using this creative thing as a path or a guidepost or a compass forward, okay? Let's see if there's anything else here. I believe that is everything, pile number 3. So just to summarize, you know, even when things look dark, there's a silver lining, pile number 3 is in the next 2 months. Even when you feel sadness, there's something that they're telling you is to be very beneficially gained out of it, okay? And it's not saying that this reading is saying that your whole next 2 months is going to suck and you're going to be sad all the time. No, it's just saying that if that should come up, that's your path out. Channel it towards creativity. Also look for opportunities of charity with financial struggle, okay? And whenever there are choices that come up regarding revisiting your past or revisiting places you've been before that are important to you, take the choice to revisit, okay? That's another piece of advice we haven't talked about. It was mentioned earlier in the reading, but I want to reiterate as a summary. So, as always, pile number 3s, I hope that reading was helpful for you. You know, if the reading resonated with you, if it did help you, please like, comment, and or subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. It helps out the channel, helps me provide more readings for you and everyone else that views my channel. And as always, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye, pile 3s.